Hello guys, this is Captain Cheesy and it's my first video. I prepared a guide for you and I'm gonna show how to dominate the first minutes of the game. In this video I'm going to cover how you should behave upon landing based on the distance between you and the nearest enemy. This of course depends on your choice of a place to deploy. Although this guide can be applied to both high populated areas and low populated. In areas of high density, you would just need to act faster and approach your enemies even earlier. The underlying foundation for this guide is that you don't really top tier equipment to push your enemies early. Actually, there is a really good chance that they will not have any weapon at all. All the possible scenarios I'm going to narrow down to 3 groups depending on how long does it take for you to get to the first enemy. In the first example, I'm going to show you the group number 1, which means that I'm landing in close proximity right next to my enemy. This basically means that as soon as you're gonna see any kind of weapon, just go for it and try to close the distance between you and your enemy, as there is still a good chance that your enemy didn't find the weapon or it's still reloading it. Remember, usually it's not a good time to collect backpacks or first aid, as it's gonna usually cost your life. In the second example, I've seen another guy closing down on this particular house, so I'm approaching him slowly yet directly. He was surprised to see me so fast and he didn't have enough time to react. Third guy I saw approaching this area of 4 houses. I assumed that he's gonna loot them one by one, so I took my time and waited outside while trying not to make too much noise. In the next example, I'm landing next to the group of enemies. They're gonna land on the other side of this warehouse. Although my approach is still the same, I'm grabbing the first weapon I found and going directly to them. Turns out it wasn't a bad decision since they didn't find any weapon yet and I could just shoot them like sitting ducks. This type of aggressive approach is something you gotta learn by doing. It's better to practice on highly populated areas. Remember that you can always hold down right mouse button instead of aiming down the sides, especially if you have a pistol, because it just covers a lot of space. In this example, I'm a bit less lucky, and as soon as I enter the warehouse there is already an enemy waiting with the gun pointed to me. What you need to do is keep calm, try to evade any bullets flying to your direction, and try to hide and find the weapon as soon as possible.
Surprise, motherfucker!
This guide applies to both solo and team games. Just remember that while playing with your friends you need to stay together. Being together means being alive. So if you're planning to survive until the late game, just make sure you're supporting each other. To summarize this guide, the decision whether you should push or not should be dependent on the proximity towards your enemy. Remember, intel is the key. You can easily advance towards your enemy's position when you know where to find them. Focusing too much on loot is a common mistake, and looking on the ground should be reduced to minimum. This method will allow you to consistently secure your starting location and obtain loot necessary for later stages of the game. If you enjoyed this guide, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and see you guys in the next one!